Saul Alvarez no longer undisputed. The IBF strips him of his title. We'll get into the details as to why. This is your boy JG. This is the Punch Report. Let's dive right in. So Canelo's been stripped, no longer undisputed. IBF said, take that, take that. And essentially what happened is there was a purse bid set up for June 6th. Canelo Alvarez and the team chose not to participate in that for the making of the William Scull fight, which was his mandatory for the IBF title for 168 pounds. Now, what happens typically if a fight is compelling enough and it's not the mandatory bout, the sanctioning bodies can go, okay, cool, we'll let him hold the belt. He's doing something that's meaningful for the sport of boxing, will generate a lot of revenue, and is a fan-demanded fight, a consumer-demanded fight. In this case, I really feel like the IBF is saying, you're fighting Edgar Berlanga for undisputed? Absolutely not. That's not the mandatory challenger in William Scull, and the Edgar Berlanga fight is not so compelling we want to let you hold on to the belt. You've dodged the obligation of fulfilling this mandatory because you feel like you have better, more lucrative financial options. We get that, but you don't get to be the IBF champion, and we're the sanctioning body, so we're going to go ahead and take that belt. The thing of it is, for Canelo, it kind of doesn't matter. I mean, it's a belt that he doesn't possess any longer. He's made a bunch of money. He's already been undisputed and defended that. And it's a sanctioning fee he won't have to pay moving forward. That's not to say that he can't put himself in a position to fight for that belt once again, becoming twice undisputed at 168 pounds. But I think what really illustrates more than anything else is the lack of value or selling power for their Edgar Berlanga fight. They pretty much told Canelo that fight is butt. You're not keeping this belt. You're not fulfilling the mandatory requirements of William Scull. We set a purse bid for that, and you chose not to participate, so we taking that belt. And I want to reiterate myself one more time. If a fight that is outside of the mandatory bracket is compelling enough, the sanctioning bodies will honor contracts and deals that get made and done to secure other bouts. But it has to transcend what the requirements are for the IBF. And the IBF is making it abundantly clear they're not checking for Edgar Berlanga versus Canelo Alvarez under any circumstance or situation. Very curious times. And this is another thing. Even if you're looking at it from, I rock with Canelo, or I don't, or I worship everything he does, or you can be objective and just kind of understand that this is a fight that no one is asking for or checking for, or is going to really get excited about, so to speak. That dumbass question that keeps getting asked about, well, what have you done? What have you done, Demetrius Andrade, to get that fight, and who have you beat, X, Y, and Z? It's Edgar Berlanga. I don't know how many fights does Edgar Berlanga even have. I'm not going to look it up, but don't try to convince me that this is the fight that fans are asking for. Now, as a matter of fact, I know that they're not asking for this fight, and I think it's good when you see a sanctioning body. Oftentimes, I don't really agree with a lot of things that over the decisions that they tend to make, but I think this decision is more than reasonable. You have a fighter in Canelo who wants to do what he wants to do, which is totally okay. He's done enough in the sport of boxing, but at some point in time, the rubber has to meet the road, and the IBF has determined that you fighting Edgar Berlanga is not us. It's not worth us holding up the rest of the division, in particular for that IBF belt, and we need to move on from that. So, shout out to William Scull. I don't know who he'll be fighting. I don't even know who he is, to be perfectly honest with you, but he's number one in line behind Canelo for the IBF title. Canelo Alvarez, as mentioned before, will be fighting Edgar Berlanga. I did a video last night and I got a couple comments on there, cats on, but I'm not buying that. I'm a Canelo fan, or I'm a fan of Mexico, and I'm not buying that fight because why? And I can't blame him. We'll have to continue to see what kind of decisions that Canelo Alvarez makes. To be honest with you, for me, at this point, and I'm not saying this right or wrong, but I've gotten used to the dumb shit that he's been doing recently. So it's not like I get too bent out of shape, or I just can't believe this is happening. Canelo he does what he wants to do. I mentioned this yesterday, the last fight that he fought, where I was like, damn, I can't wait to watch this fight, which was the Caleb Plant fight, and it was a really good fight, compelling fight. Outside of that, nah, old Triple G and Avni Yildirim on the long layoff, and it doesn't matter. Who'd he fight? And then Jaime Munguia, not enough experience, carried him, and then mercilessly, or showed mercy to him by not just folding him in half like a lawn chair and knocking him out brutally, because he could have. But that's been my time. Let me know what your thoughts. The IBF has stripped Canelo Alvarez. He's no longer undisputed at 168 pounds. failed to participate in the purse bid process for a William Scull bout, chose to do something different or what he perceived to be more lucrative or exciting, which is Edgar Berlanga. This is your boy JG. This has been the Punch Report. I'm out.